Good evening, money magnets and master traders. It's your Uncle Charters here. The human mind is such a powerful thing. If Uncle was to say to you, for every red car that you notice today, you will get $10 for it. And I guarantee you that when you go step outside your house, you will start to notice all the red cars. And it's the same way for me when it comes to trading the stock market, because I'm all about the levels and the setups. When we look at price action like this, what you see in today's price action, some will say that is a very choppy market, nothing happened, couldn't make any money. If you have a mindset of scarcity, then yes, you are right. If you believe the glass is half empty, yes, you are right. But if you have a mindset of abundance, this price action was full of opportunities. Because like the red car theory, Uncle always say, watch out for the levels and the setups and trade it unbiasedly level to level style. And there were multiple setups on the 15-minute chart. We started off with the breakout of my level at 662. It cleared on the 15-minute chart. And I wrote to my Discord members, 664 is the target. As you guys can see, SPY did not hit my 664 level and instead went and hit the pre-market high at 663.23 before rejecting and giving us the false breakout setup of that 662 level. And I wrote to my Discord members, so far the false breakout is showing some follow through. From here, 660 fails next. If 660 fails next, 658.5 to 657 in play. So in other words, I played the breakout 662 with a 664 target, and I got stopped out about 15, 18 to 20% loss, or in the red. I usually cut my loss. In this case, Uncle was forced to cut his loss. I couldn't play the false breakout because I was already in calls and I had to cut my loss and make sure all my contracts were sold before it got worse. And as you can see, after dropping back below 662, it went and hit my 660 level. That was support level. So from there, Uncle continued to remember who he is. I am a money magnet master trader. Price action trading is my thing. So after I got stopped out, I was in the red. So I had to figure out what my next move was. From there, 660 was support and 662 was back to being resistant. And I wrote to my Discord, after a level-to-level move from 662 to 660, 660 defended as support and now clearing the 662 level. I let the Discord know we're clearing 662 again after bouncing. So we're not just going to sit here and cry about taking a loss because it's part of trading. You're going to have some losing trades sometimes. Can you cut your loss and keep it to a minimum? I was able to keep it to 20% loss. But we reset for the next setup and 662 cleared, which I let the group know that it cleared. That is clearing. 663.23 was my next target with 664 plus in play. From there, we cleared 663.23. And as you guys see, after that breakout, we bounced all the way up to 665.13 before SPY getting smacked back down. It eventually cleared my 664 level. You should have taken profit. Remember, it's level to level. You enter from one level, you take profits at the next level. So clearing 662, playing the recapture of 662. After I got stopped out and I was in the red, I was able to get back in the green by sticking to the plan. There is an abundance of trading opportunities, money-making opportunities if you focus on the money-making opportunity. If you say the price action is trash, guess what? You're right. You're going to attract trashy price action. But if you focus on the opportunity, you're going to get lots of opportunities. We got the recapture 662. We got the breakout of 663.23 and we hit 665. Cleared 664, but then we had the false breakout setup, which led us back down to 662 towards the end of the day. So multiple level to level style trading opportunities. Each level to level move, like $1.20 to $2 move, that could make you a few $100s depending on how many contracts you bought. That's why we trade options, to maximize our profits. Then when we look at the daily chart, we can see that we rejected from the 20 daily moving average. The price action is always telling a story. Now, while the intraday price action was good for some people, maybe bad for others, playing it level to level style and focusing on the trade setup and remembering my identity. Our identity is that we are money magnets and we are master traders. We are what we believe. We attract what we believe. came out pretty decently green. Not a perfect day, but it was decently green. So now we move on to the next day. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Because today, what story did the price action tell? It told the story of a relief bounce. Last week, we had that incredible price action where we dropped $20+ to the downside. The story that was told today is of a relief bounce with the 20 DMA rejecting. That tells me we are still overall bearish. A lot of time when the market's correcting itself, it corrects itself in the ABC pattern. Today could have been the B move, the B wave. I'm not an Elliott wave guy, but that's how usually relief bounce works. So now we have to figure out, is it going to be more downside or is it going to be more upside? And we have to be willing to follow the price action using the setups. And we know where the selling pressure was today, right around the 20 daily moving average, just below the 5 daily moving average. So because of this, because I know where the strong selling pressure is, I cannot get bullish or favor more upside unless we get above 664 and 666 tomorrow. That would get us back above the two important moving average for the medium term and the short term, which is the 20 and the 5. We get above those levels. This today was more than a relief bounce. Somebody's buying the dip and we could head up higher, possibly back up to 669.3 or higher. But if this is a relief bounce or a dead cat bounce, today's rejection from the 20 daily moving average should send us back down. So if we get above 664 and 666 tomorrow, we know to be bullish. But if we start breaking down support levels, especially with today's context, if we start breaking down support levels, 662 and 660, we are bearish. Now notice the 660 level, the market makers were working their butts off. This one's right here was in the pre-market. We don't really count that. But during the trading hours, market makers were working their butt off, not allowing the bears to break down that 660 level. So there's a good amount of buying pressure there that's propping up the market. Could be the market makers playing tricks on us. I would not doubt it. But I tell you this, I will trust the rejection from the 20 daily moving average more. If we can break down 662 and 660, my prediction for you guys is this. We break down 660, new lows are incoming. So if this was the A move to the downside and today was a relief bounce, the B wave, we could get that C wave within the next 2 days. If it's not tomorrow, could be the day after on Wednesday. But we will need to break down 662 and 660. Take out that buy zone, because if we do, new lows incoming. The previous low was at 652.84 based on his red candles. A good chance we hit that low and possibly drop down lower. So remember, let's keep this simple for tomorrow. Above 664 and 666, bounce continues. Today's relief rally is more than just a relief rally. Bulls are buying the dip. But if we drop below 662 and 660 within the next 2 days, preferably tomorrow, get ready for new lows incoming. That is my prediction. That is my plan for the bull case scenario and the bear case scenario. I believe it's great to be prepared for any case scenario and not marry one idea too much. Uncle don't marry nobody. I'm a player when it comes to trading level to level style. Moving on to Triple Q. Similar situation with Triple Q here. It managed to nearly backtest the 5 DMA, but it did recapture the 20. So Triple Q is showing a little bit more bullish signs. But as you guys know, in the short term, Unco is bearish below the 5. So for that to change tomorrow, 602 and 603.8 must clear. Because above 603.8 will get us back above the 5 DMA. And there's a good chance we'll head up to 607 and 609 plus, sending us back possibly to new all-time highs. But if we are to truly trust any rejection, I need to see 600.84, 599, and the fib level at 597.8 fail. That area held as support today, but if it fails tomorrow, we are playing a dead cat bounce setup, which should send us back to previous low or newer low. I have a target around 588.5, and there's a good chance if we get that newer low, that level will fail as well. Above 603.75 and above 605, we are bullish. But below 599 and 597.8, we stay bearish. Right now, it's still looking bearish to me. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tesla was able to get the bounce. I wrote in my Discord that 426 must recapture to give us a bounce, and it did. From here, 436, 438, 440, and 442 must clear next. If they do, the bounce continue. This is an inside candle setup, so above 442, I would be bull bias. If we already get bearish, I need to see 434, 430, and 426 fail once again to invalidate today's false breakdown setup, and that should send us back to 415 and 413 or lower. Below 411.45, that was the low of Friday's candle, I would be bear bias on Tesla. That's the low of the mother candle. Here is NVDA with a relief bounce, but it did give us a doji. After a trend day last Friday, today ended up being a choppy day. Not too crazy to see, but the range that I'm watching is 189.2 and 191 as resistance. If those levels clear, we're bouncing to the upside, and the bottom of the range is at 186. I have support at 188, then 186. That level fail, we're heading back down to 184.5, 183 or much lower. Unco would be bearish below 186 and 184.5. Here is IWM also with its own relief bounce. It managed to get back above the 20 and the 5 DMA. So IWM between QQQ, IWM, and SPY, this is the one that's looking the most bullish here. Will there be bullish follow through tomorrow? If there is, 245 must clear to put 247 or higher in play. If we clear 245, we're bullish again on IWM. But if we break down 243.5 and 242, dead cat bounce. Setup, look for puts. We're likely retesting the previous low from Friday, which is at 237.5, and I would not be surprised if we head down lower. Here is Apple consolidating a little bit after the crazy day we had last Friday. Market's just cooling down, but if it's done cooling down and ready to give us another bearish move, 246.5 and 245 both must fail, and I would favor another $5 to $10 move to the downside. Look for puts when a support level fails. But if it's time to be bullish, multiple levels must recapture. 248, 250, and 251.5. I would be bullish if 251.5 can recapture to get us back to 257 and 260 plus. And last but certainly not least, here is the VIX with the pullback. I talked about last week how it, on the weekend, looking like a cup, we could get a situation where a handle could be developing, and that's where the price action get a little bit tricky with the VIX, a little less trendy, if you will. But either way, I have support at 19, and if it holds to give us more upside, 20.3 and 22 must clear. The VIX gets bullish, SPY could continue its correction to the downside. But if we drop below 19 and 18, the VIX gets bearish, and it could mean SPY is heading back to the upside. Now, unfortunately, looking at the DarkPool level, not much that Uncle can report to you, nothing over $1 billion, but the one with the biggest premium is at 653 at $247.9 million. Not over $1 billion, but that's the most we had for today, and it's likely that came in from last week because these do take 24 hours. This is DarkPool, so it takes 24 hours to fully show up. And then the second largest at 663.2. I did have my level at 663.23, so it's just 3 cents off from the DarkPool level, but right around the same. And based on that, the way we use it is that if we're above 663.23, we can comfortably say, hey, we're bullish. Combined with Uncle's levels, clearing those levels support, we are bullish. But below 663.23, it's a good chance that person who got in around here is looking to sell and push the SPY lower. All right, so that's the plan. Hope you guys found value in it. Remember, Uncle's trading style and trading approach does require us to take some actions, to pay attention. It does require us to put in some work. But once you figure out my trading style, my trading plan, and how Uncle trades, and you master it for yourself, you will become one of the greatest traders of all time. You will make a lot of money. You will be a money magnet. You will learn how to cut loss. You will be more disciplined consistently, and you will change your life. I love y'all. Peace.